Hey everyone, Matt with Backyard Rancher here. Today I am underneath the coop, changing out a few things on my watering system. So about 3 months ago, I installed a 55-gallon drum watering system, and every couple of weeks or so, I have to clean out the cups, which is one of the watering components that I use. I use vertical nipples, horizontal nipples, and these automatic cups. The chickens really like the automatic cups the best. It's the most natural way chickens drink water, so it makes sense. However, because they're scratching and turning up the dirt here underneath the coop, lots of sediment actually gets in these, so they are a little bit of a pain to clean. Luckily, I put mine towards the outside of the coop, so every couple of weeks or so, I climb down in here, unscrew these cups, clean them out, screw them back on, and then they're good to go. So if you're going to use these cups, I advise putting them somewhere where it's easy to get to, because if not, it's going to be a pain having to climb all the way in the coop to try to change these out, because they will get dirty. So today I'm going to go through kind of what I did as far as setting up the entire system, how I maintain it, and what I like and what I don't like about these three different watering types. So as you can see here, this is the 55-gallon drum that I got from Uline. Online. It got delivered to my house. I chose white instead of blue just because I thought it would blend in with my fence a little bit better. I put earthquake straps, as you can see right there, on the actual barrel so that in case it does move a little bit, it will not fall one way or the other. I built it on a stand that is 4x4s and then 2x4s, and then obviously level it out for my retaining wall that it sits half on. So this seems to work pretty well. Obviously I checked it all when I filled it up. Top of the tank here. So obviously this is where I unscrew it to fill it back up. And this one's actually getting pretty low. Like I said, it's been about 3 months or so since I filled it up. So I'm gonna have to fill it up again. It does get a little gross in there. So I'm gonna have to add, I think, some product to keep this thing clean. I have an air hose here, so if you don't put some kind of hole into the system, you're gonna end up with a vacuum and things will not be flowing as you want them to. Moving down to the plumbing. So what I installed is a bulkhead fitting up here at the top, 3/4 bulkhead fitting, drilled directly into the bottom of the actual barrel and put the bulkhead fitting in. It's an MIP connection, so I was able to do male threads. So coming down from the bulkhead, there is a 3/4 MIP PVC part, then a little piece of PVC. I put a T on. Then what I did is I put a ball valve, 3/4 ball valve here. This will actually let me turn it off so that I can drain the entire watering system. So I can either clean the barrel or I can actually clean out the components of the watering system. And right here we have 90 that goes into a hose bib, and this hose bib will allow me to actually drain the entire tank, which is what I'm going to do today because all this sediment is sitting at the bottom now and I don't want it in my water. So ball valve was off. I just turned it off because obviously I'm working on the watering system under here. I don't want water draining onto me inside of a chicken coop. So turned it off. And then what I did, the end of the system, I have another hose bib. So this is at the lowest point of the actual watering system. So I can turn it on and actually drain it fully out. So that way I'm not getting any water inside of the chicken coop or the chicken run. I'll go in here and show you how the actual system is put together. Ugh, it's always fun to crawl when you're in the chicken coop. So the first watering parts are vertical nipples. So everything comes in as 3/4 PVC, and then what I did is I put T's. These T's are actually slip, so both sides on either side here and here is a slip fitting, but this is actually a thread fitting. So the thought process that I had is when I designed this, I want everything to come apart. So this is a MIP male fitting into a female screw-in T. So this entire piece can actually screw off. So I can take it off, I can cap it, I can change out the nipple, I can do all kinds of different things. So I've been asked a couple times how I got the nipples into the PVC. So I just screwed a hole up, and then these actually have, the nipples have a thread at the end as well as an O-ring. and they just thread up inside of the actual PVC. I had one that was leaking. I took it out, but luckily these other four, or excuse me, the other three are not leaking. So then I replaced this guy, and now he's not leaking either. So, and it's been a couple months, no leaks. So the chickens actually like these second. I would say these are probably the second favorite as far as the watering systems. This is what you'll see in a lot of commercial watering systems, are these vertical nipples. So the next thing is, comes this way, 90s down, 90s over. Same slip by thread fitting for the T, so I can unscrew every piece of these components. And then these are the horizontal nipples. Now, I thought these were actually going to be well received by the chickens. I don't think I've ever actually even seen them drink from them. So I don't know if they just don't know to push in the little silver thing here and drink from it, or do they just don't really care. But I literally have never seen a single chicken drink from it. I did have a leak on one of them, so I was able to unthread or unscrew the MIP fitting, and then I just put a cap inside of here, and that seemed to work pretty well. So that way I can basically take, and I may end up taking all these off since they don't really care, either putting in, it's a little low, as you can see from the bottom here, it's a little low to do vertical nipples. I might not, it just depends. I may just take it off, just cap them all together, because they don't seem to really care about these guys. These, however, are the favorites, which is what I made to clean out today. So I put 3 in. I may end up doing something where I cut this piece, lower it down, and maybe put in more cups. I just didn't want to put too many where I'm having to crawl all the way inside like I am right now. I like it because it's the opening right here. I can just reach right in, unscrew these guys, and then clean them out. So basically I'll show you the way that I'm going to unthread these. Same thing, slip fitting, male fitting, MIP fits in there. That way I can take this entire piece off. This is basically so it goes from a 3/4 T, 3/4 male fitting, then it goes to a 1/2 inch reducer, and then this, I'm clean this up a little bit, this is a 1/2 inch brass to 1/8, I believe it's 1/8 or 1/4 screw and fitting, and which is exactly, and I'll put more description here in the bottom of this video, but basically this little arm of the water screws directly into a brass fitting, which then screws into a 3/4 by 1/2 inch reducer, which then screws into a 3/4 T. So we basically go from 3/4 to about, I think it's either 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch. So I'll have to look and put that in the description. So what I need to do today is I need to clean these cups. So easiest way to do it is to just unscrew this way. So these guys just come off. So you can see it's pretty gross in there. So that's why I have to clean this off, because this gets full of gunk and sediment. So I have to clean this thing out. So I'm gonna clean that one out. What I can do in the meantime though, since I have backups, is just thread in another one. So I will put this new guy, if I can do this all with one hand, which I can. Screw this guy in. Nice and tight, and it's good to go. So I'm gonna do this with the other two. I only have one other extra one. I need to buy another one. I got one without a float somehow, so I only have one extra one. So I will clean this guy out, put him in there or here, and then put the other one on that side, clean out the last one. That way I have 2 that are backups, and this is what I will do I really should be doing this every week. Right now I think the last time I did it was 3 weeks. Obviously 3 weeks is too long, so every week it will be. All right, so I got 2 hoses going. One that is gonna be refilling it, and one that is hooked up to actually drain it out, because I need to clean the barrel a little bit. So, and the barrel that I bought, and what I suggest everyone buying, is the one that the lid comes completely off. So I can get all the way in there, and I will. I'm gonna scrub all this, all that algae, get everything a nice good scrub. I might even a little bit use just a little bit of bleach just to kind of clean it out, and obviously rinse it out very, very thoroughly before I fill it back up. But I can't tell you how glad I am that I bought the one that the entire lid comes off, because that allows me to get all the way in rather than trying to stick something through the little bung hole all the way down there in order to clean it out. And yes, It's called a bunghole. I didn't make that up. Alright. Oh, nice and clean. So there you can see the bulkhead fitting as well that I drilled into the bottom of the barrel. And now it's all clean. Time to refill. Alright, so I'm back under the coop, tested for leaks. The 55-gallon drum is completely full. I usually will run the hose as I'm filling it up for a little bit, just kind of clean out any sediment that's left in there, even after, obviously, cleaning it out. So tested everything. I'll flush this system as well, which I did, just to make sure there's no air in there. Go through and test everything, just make sure there's no leaks, plenty of water's coming through, no dripping. So occasionally the horizontal nipples will have some dripping, but no issues this time, which is nice. So I'll kind of go through kind of the pros and cons of what I found. Oh, this is really comfortable down here. So some of the pros and cons of what I've set up with this watering system is obviously I don't have one of the hanging waters that you have to clean near daily when you're dealing with this many chickens. So I have 12 chickens. They drink a lot of water. They kick up a lot of dust. They throw stuff everywhere. So if you're dealing with one of those hanging waters that hang down from the coop, you're gonna have to clean that out quite often. I like them because it's a good way for the chickens to kind of, scoop the water like they naturally do, but it's a lot of work. So I didn't like those. Plus, I like the fact that I don't have to think about, do the chickens have water? Really ever. I know they have 55 gallons, so I check it. I mean, I'm over here all the time, so I check it often, but I don't need to. So this has been about 3 months, let's say 2.5, 3 months, give or take, because I did drain it out a couple of times when I was repairing some of the leaks that this had in the very beginning, as I was kind of fine-tuning everything. So let's say 2.5, 3 months, 55-gallon drum, 12 chickens, that's not bad. So if I could get my feeding system to work very similarly, I theoretically could be gone for a couple of weeks and not have to worry about feeding or watering the chickens at all. Really all it is then eggs are stockpiling up. So my whole plan of doing a watering system like this, and the whole goal, was to be very hands-off. So I've been very hands-off with this. I do need to start cleaning the cups more. As you saw, there was quite a bit of gunk in there that was built up. So if I can keep cleaning these out, let's say once a week, twice a week, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, I'm gonna have to keep a better eye on it. The last time was about 3 weeks ago, and that was quite a bit of stuff left in there. So I'm probably gonna go to every week, maybe on every Saturday or something, and just see how it builds up. Hopefully it does not build up too much. So if you're looking for maintenance free, I would go with vertical poultry nipples. My chickens didn't really care for the horizontal ones. Yours might, mine didn't. If you're okay with a little more maintenance, then the cups are a great way to do it. I've seen systems where you have the bucket hanging down and the cups on the side, so you can actually remove the bucket and then clean everything out. My system obviously feeds off of a much larger watering system, so I can't have just a bucket that I pull out. But these unscrew, as you saw, fairly easily. It's just a matter of getting under the coop and doing that. But yeah, so this seems to be working. I'm gonna keep track on how much these 12 chickens in the summer here are drinking. See if it is 2, 3, 4 months, how long this 55 gallons of water lasts. And then I'll report that back on my Instagram, so take a look at that. But for now, this works. I'm happy with it. I don't have to worry about the chickens not having water. It works for me. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit subscribe, because I'm going to try to do more of these videos as much as I can. And, yeah, enjoy your day.